Hey everyone, this is Doc, and this is Doc's Delayed Game Reviews. This is where I review games severely behind the times, because hey, why review a game today when you can review it decades later? Today we're going to take a look at Spawn for the Super Nintendo. It was released in October of 1995. Yuki-Yo-Tei was the developer and Acclaim was the publisher. When I first looked this up, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't developed by Capcom, because there are so many influences from other Capcom games in this game. The game itself had an average of 63 out of 100 from the various press sources at the time. And I don't know much about Spawn because I never read the comics, but I have seen the Spawn movie from 1997 and I thought it was okay. I started doing research before I played the game and I barely found anything about it. Figured out why when I started playing. This is going to be one of my longer reviews because I want to give you the full impression of the game since I did not see any full reviews of the game on YouTube. On the surface, the game appears to be a Final Fight clone, which is made by Capcom, but all of the special moves are basically copied straight from Street Fighter 2, again, Capcom, and the platforming elements feel like Mega Man X, again, Capcom. The sad part is all the elements are like cheap knockoffs. I don't believe Capcom had anything to do with this game, but I could be wrong. But the controls are awful, the special moves never work when you need them, and the platforming parts are just annoyingly bad. Couple all this together and you've got a recipe for a terrible game. On the flip side though, the game is beautiful. The art is extremely well done, and the animations are very nice as well. The music is also very well done, and the game has a great password system. So let's go through it and see if it really is this bad. At the top of the screen on the left you've got your health bar. Run out and you die and you have to start that segment of the level over. The right side is your necroplasm level. Yes, I did had to look this up because I had absolutely no clue what the hell those numbers meant. Dying takes away from your necroplasm level, as does your special moves. Throughout the game there are spawn coins that will replenish some of your necroplasm meter. One of your special moves is a heal that depletes your necroplasm but fills your health bar back to full. You have unlimited continues as long as you have necroplasm left. Run out of it and it's game over. So let's take a look at the levels. The first level is your standard beat 'em up with no real platforming elements. You don't even need to use any of the special moves, and when I first played through this level just to make sure the game worked, I didn't even know any of the special moves existed and I got to the second level no problem. Most of the enemies die in only one hit. One complaint I do have is a lot of the times the enemies keep spawning if you don't move on to the next section. However, the game gives you no indicator that it's time to move on. The boss of this level is called Overkill, and you have to fight him twice, once in the middle level and once at the end. He's pretty easy, just block his attack then back him to a corner and cheese him until he dies both times. Now let's stop for just a second. If the rest of the game was basically just like this level without any of the platforming aspects, this game actually probably would not be terribly bad. No, it wouldn't be Ninja Turtles arcade good, but decent. Once the levels started adding platforming aspects, that's when you figure out that the controls in this game are just awful. The second level is the warehouse. There is a horrible part where you have to wall jump while avoid being shot from afar. This section was especially irritating because the controls were just so bad. The boss fight is very annoying and he is immune a good portion of the fight while he's doing an attack that will basically take away 25% of your health per hit. Once you get the boss to about a third health, you knock him out a window and the second phase starts. The annoying part about this boss is it is just better just to take the regular hit so you're immune during his laser blast. That is pretty bad design in my opinion. The next level you have is the jail level. First part of it is you're just falling, no real way to avoid the damage unless you memorize the pattern, which again is kind of lame and bad design. The next part you have heavy armored guys that shoot at you and you have to avoid taser blasts. I basically just ignored the guys and made a break for the end of this part of the level. Next you head into a platform section with what appears to be molten lava? Which, by the way, who has molten anything in a jail? It just doesn't make any sense. Again, bad controls are very apparent in this section as well. At the end of this level, you fight Violator. This boss is a piece of cake compared to the previous one. You just back him into a corner and do the swinging chain attack, and he will die very quickly. The fourth level is a Badlands-like area. Nothing special here other than annoying birds that will get you killed from their flame attack.
He's on fire!
This is a very well detailed level, I will say that. There is a part later in this level that is very annoying because of the bad controls. You have to wall jump into a platform that falls once you land on it. Since the controls are very unresponsive to this fast input, it's a very poorly executed area. And if you do happen to time it just right, there's a firebird waiting to hit you and kill you. The area after this is more platform jumping, which again is just badly done. My suggestion is to just fall in the pit, become the glowy ball, and fly past this part. The end boss of this level is a fire demon type thing. There's 4 torches, you attack the torch to extinguish it, boss dies. Easy peasy fight. The 5th level is some kind of cave or inside of a creature, not really sure which, it looks weird. Anyways, nothing special in this level or anything that was really annoying. It actually only took me about 6 minutes to beat this level. I again skipped a fair amount of the platforming by purposely falling into the pit to become the flying ball. The end boss of this level is a cloaked spider. It decloaks right before it drops spiders on you that will attack. Just stay near it and attack before it can attack you. This is actually the first boss I really liked because it wasn't just back it into a corner and kill it, or it wasn't stupid hard from it being immune. Level 6 is the cathedral level, and this level is again very well drawn. I like the quasi 3D effect in the background scrolling. It's a pretty level. This level did not have much platforming at all except for one part, and I swore it was impossible to get up to the next section. Finally gave up and went through all the special moves to see if there was something I was overlooking that would help. Spawn has a flaming jump kick that will jump you up about a screen and a half. This is the only way I think you can get past this part, because there's just no way to time the jumps on it. You have to use the special move. And once you do get up there, those stupid firebirds are back again to ruin your day. Right before the boss, you'll face what seems like endless waves of mobs. None of them really hard, but it does get old after like 4 minutes of just killing on the same screen. The final boss of this level is a giant knight. Again, just back him into the corner and do the chain attack, and he dies because he can't attack you back. Level 7 is another cave level, and this one's more brightly colored though. This level was my least favorite in the game. The level itself is not bad, it's the end boss of this level that's the problem. Like I've said in my previous reviews, I'm not a fan of self-scrolling levels, and this boss takes up most of the screen and he moves by himself. So if you get caught in the wrong spot, instant death. The one upside though is you probably won't take any damage from the boss itself, as it really doesn't attack you. You will die from being crushed over and over and over and over again. You really have to memorize the timing of the thing to beat it. It took me about 5 minutes to beat the level, but to get past the boss, it was like 30 minutes because if you screw up once, you have to start all over, and you are at the mercy of its movement. You will rage at this boss because it is just that awful. If the controls were tighter, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad, but that isn't the case in this game. This boss just plainly sucks. I guess it makes up for all the other bosses that you can just corner and cheese them to death. Level 8 is the Pharaoh Egyptian type level, and there's all kinds of Egyptian references in this level. This is mainly a platforming level, so we know we're gonna have fun in here. In a weird twist, certain parts of this level are upside down. And what I mean is you're actually walking upside down, which in a good game wouldn't be a problem, but with the bad controls in this one, it just makes for more frustration. What is even more frustrating is the special moves are all backwards when you're upside down. I mean, that is a nice example of attention to detail, but why go to all that trouble? Designing better controls from the start would have been much more appreciated. And speaking of attention to detail, why are there knight statues in an Egyptian level? I know I didn't pay a lot of attention in school, but I know there was not any knights during the time with the pharaohs. If you're going to pay enough attention to invert the controls, that you wouldn't put knights in with pharaohs. It just doesn't make any sense. Alright, I'm done ranting. Anyways, there's another spot in this level where you have to use that flaming kick to get the distance in a jump. The bad part is where you have to do this is upside down, so now the move is backwards. Near the end of the level, there is an enemy that spawns a little guy, and if your luck is bad enough, he can actually chain attack you to death in about 5 seconds. The level itself is much harder than the end boss, and the end boss is just a statue that shoots fire at you and will rotate around. If you're not in the slot when it rotates, you will die instantly from being crushed. Simple boss at the end of a bad level. Level 9 isn't really much of a level as it is just a maze where you have to refight previous bosses. Don't go in the first pit. That is the second level boss, and he is as much of a pain this time around as he was the first time. The second pit is Buzzsaw, and this guy's kind of annoying because he's hard to hit. The third pit is Violator. I would go for the third pit just because it's the easiest. After one of those bosses, you fight these twins, get them together in a corner so you only have to defend from one side, then just mow them down. After you fight the twins, you'll fight the Mad One with Malbologna in the background. His hand brings down a lightning attack, which will hurt you. It will also hurt the guy that you're fighting. So corner this guy under the hand and just keep attacking him. Really not that hard if you get him in the right spot. The last level again really isn't a level, as it is the final boss fight with the new breed. This is a long fight because you have to constantly be moving to avoid the lightning strikes. Attack the boss on its head when you can. Dodging the lightning though is more important because at this point you are most likely running out of necroplasm. About halfway through this fight his arms blow off, but the tactics stay the same. Beat him and you've beaten the game. One final note though is on the password system. The game itself doesn't have built-in save, but you don't need it. 1, if you stop playing, you're not coming back to this game. And 2, the passwords actually are really nice. They are 8 characters long and they consist of numbers and the letters B through H. When you use a password, you will go right to the level with the exact amount of necroplasm you had when that password was generated. It was pretty ingenious, I must say. Anytime that you died, you can go to the level selection and it will tell you exactly how much necroplasm you had for that level and show you the corresponding password. Pretty slick thinking on their part. I never knew about this game before I picked it up, and I found it at a local game store called Gamers Alley in Cramerton, North Carolina for $5. I got home, played through the first level, and thought, hey, this seems like a pretty cool game. This is a perfect example of don't judge a game by its first level. Oh, and this isn't a case of once you get used to it, it's not a bad game. No, I recorded the first half of the game only to realize my program crashed. Then I used a different program, re-recorded the entire game, but it crashed while I was stopping the recording, so the entire file was corrupted. So I had to play through this game yet again, but this time started and stopped the recording at each level. This game doesn't get any better, even the third time through it. It doesn't really have any replay value as there's no difficulty settings or really any hidden treasures, and this game really is only for hardcore Spawn fans, I guess, or your Super Nintendo collectors. Even your normal retro gamer won't find much enjoyment here, other than the pretty pictures and sound. This game had potential to be really good, but it failed to execute in the key areas of character control and just, well, being fun. It was just frustrating most of the time. You can pick this game up fairly cheap, it's about $10 on eBay, but again, I stress, this game is not good. If you're a collector, then by all means, but I can't say this game is worth more than a couple dollars. It has too many major flaws that makes it just a bad game. Avoid it like the plague unless you like blistered thumbs and yelling at the TV. Anyways, this has been Doc. Thanks for watching.